Today on One Day Leader, we give you a more thorough introduction to our top 6 contestants, and we'll also hear their first debates as they battle it out for the coveted title of being selected the winner of One Day Leader 2016. Good evening, South Africa, and welcome to One Day Leader. And as usual, we have a very exciting episode for you. I'm your host, Dumelo Mototwane. Now, by the end of last week's show, you met the 6 contestants who will be competing for One Day Leader Season 4. And today, you will get to know them, where they come from, and what kind of leaders they are. Let's take a look.
Other 5 contestants motlu interesting because you already characters very different. Like for example, Sydney is the more outspoken, rowdy one.
Natasha, obviously the loud one.
Then Ludwe is more always laughing, but she's really reserved and quiet.
Kasekaya, I wouldn't really say quiet, maybe rather reserved.
And with Zareef is learning Zulu.
No, my favorite phrase in Zulu is Bayang Gupi Labantwana, which means like we are the children.
How are you, leaders? I'm well, thank you. Well, today, for the very first time this season, you have an opportunity to state your vision statements. You will have a chance to indicate who you are and what you stand for this season. Now, you have 1 minute to state your vision statement and also how you envision contributing to the future of South Africa. Are you ready for the task? You may begin.
How are you going to go about yours?
I think it's about what you really want to achieve on One Day Leader, and then just make sure that you carry it through. It's your end goal. It's what you want to do in 5 years, 10 years' time, what you want to do right now, moving towards that 5-year goal. I think it's also about your own personal, your own persona. It's what you actually believe in. Looking at previous seasons as well, do you remember any vision statements from the previous years?
I remember one from, I think it was season 3. Season 3, yeah, Octavia, season 3 from, yes, Octavia. He was very different. He went on the likes of, he was telling a story, basically, that carried so much sentiment in it. Yeah.
Whilst you're still speaking about telling a story, I think it's so important to be actually creative with it. Yeah, and that's where that's where my thoughts lie with it. And also then, as Zareef has mentioned, you set an objective and you carry that throughout, remain consistent throughout.
I noticed with season 3, there was a lady that talked about women empowerment, and I believe that our vision statements should really be inclusive of the whole nation, because once you start narrowing it down to one thing, it is as if you're only appealing to a certain portion of South Africa. So in choosing my vision statement, personally, I think it's about relating to every single person.
It's largely based on experience and what you're passionate about. You get what I mean? So I, for example, would be passionate about education. You understand? That would largely be, that would influence every decision I take, every debate I go into. I would look at how do I incorporate education into it. Not to say I'm narrowing it down, but I feel what is at the center of your mind should always display itself in your vision statement. I mean, if you're passionate about healthcare, then when we're talking about education and women empowerment, just look, how do you incorporate health care into women, and you get what I mean.
It must also sound convincing to the viewer at home as well. I think it must not just be too artistic, it must be real. And it goes back to what the honesty that you were talking about. I think it must also make the viewer at home relate, feel that, okay, this is relevant today, tomorrow, and just in the future.
And I agree with that, in a sense that what sounds nice on paper or on television, someone else might not be able to relate to it because we're dealing with real people. And I think that if your vision statement is incorporated with reality,
that's why location is so important. Like the location should serve as a real backdrop towards what you envision.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So if you care about I guess like growing the economy and the business environment, for example, you know, it would be optimal for you to be like in a busy, buzzy business hub type of area, right? And that's where you already giving the nation your imagination of what this place ought to be.
Well, I'm wishing everybody like all the best, you know, with your thing today. And you know, I want to surprise South Africa. I think that's my conclusion.
Thank you very much.
Now, of course, we would love to hear from you and would like to hear your thoughts as you meet them. So please send your comments to our Facebook page. We are One Day Leader SA on our Facebook page, and on Twitter, we are @OneDayLeader. Don't forget to hashtag One Day Leader. Now, you can also start voting for your favorite contestant by SMSing the number of your favorite leader. Your SMS will start the voting ball rolling. But for now, let's meet our judges. Tebogo Ditshego is the CEO of Ditshego Investment Group and Ditshego Media. He is also the founder of Read a Book SA. Catherine Constantinidis is the Executive Director of Miss Earth South Africa. She is also the co-founder of Generation Earth. Oh yes, South Africa, those are your judges. We welcome you, judges. Tebogo and Catherine, you of course are residents. But Tebogo, you are a new face to One Day Leader. What do you expect in this season?
I'm looking for vision. I'm looking for a plan, which is, you know, a plan that is sustainable. And I'm also looking for capacity. So I'm looking for leaders who have the capacity to implement their plan. And I'm not just looking for positional leadership. I'm also looking for leadership by action. People shouldn't want, you know, you to be a leader just because of your position, but also because of your actions.
Absolutely. Catherine, what's in store for our leaders this season?
I think they are really going to have a life-changing experience. They're going to learn things on this platform that they will carry with them for the rest of their lives. And this is the foundation of the young people, the young leaders we need in our country. So they've got lots in store as long as they are hungry to grow, to learn, and to implement what their vision is as a norm throughout the season.
Implementation seems to be key this season. All right. Now, those were our resident judges. Now, our guest judge for today is Mr. Katu Ramukumba, who's the CEO of the NYDA. He has a BCom Finance Accounting degree from the University of Pretoria and a BCom Honours degree from the University of KwaZulu-Natal. Now, he joined the NYDA in May of 2011 as the Chief Financial Officer and was then appointed as the CEO in June 2014. We welcome you, Katu. Thank you so much for coming to One Day Leader. Now, what is the prize for this season? We've been consistently supportive of the vision of One Day Leader as a program, as you know, an individual winning the show. But what is the prize for the season?
Look, for us as the National Youth Development Agency, we want to see, you know, the winner of this year to be more about the overall development of young people. We are looking for a young leader who can provide inspiration to other young people, but also we want solution-driven leadership, given the challenges that are facing young people, ranging from unemployment, poverty, and the underlying factors like lack of adequate education, the skills that are required by the economy for these young people to be incorporated in the mainstream economy of our country. So we will still be giving a cash prize to the coveted winner, but the prize will also include elements such as, you know, a dedicated portion for a community development project, because we want this leadership to be about communities, to be about the overall South Africa as it were.
Well, thank you so much, Katu. We do hope indeed that we've picked the right top 6 contestants to live up to your expectations. Well, now we get to know the top 6 of the One Day Leader Season 4 contestant. And you met them last week, but we want you to know why they deserve your votes. Now, instead of having them say their vision statements in studio, we asked each of them to show you how they perceived the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet leader number 1. That is Zareef Minty, all the way from the Northwest Province.
I envision a country where we as the youth raise the standard of the general public moving forward. I see us as the youth, who are 35 million in population, work towards becoming important stakeholders in the South African economy. I see us as the youth demand prominent leadership roles so that we can ensure that all the issues that young people are facing at this moment can be solved, challenged and solved. I envision a country where we then reduce the unemployment rate in South Africa. We cannot allow 5.5 million people to remain jobless. I envision a country where young people learn how to network and self-brand and commercialize themselves. I envision a country where we reduce corruption. I envision a country where we no longer harm the environment, where we spend time working towards solar power and solar energy. I envision a country where young people can become authors and readers. I envision a country where we can move South Africa forward. Anything is possible. Keep working hard. You are the future.
Well, that is leader number 1, Zareef Minty. Congratulations for making it this far into the top 6 of the competition. But I have to take it back to our guest judge, who is Katu. Do you have a question for our leader, Zareef?
Look, I do have one question for you, Zareef, in that, you know, the articulation of the vision speaks about critical issues that we're facing as a country, but importantly, you indicate that young people must be important stakeholders in how we take our country forward. My question to you is, do you think that young South Africans are ready to take up that challenge?
Thank you so much for the question. I think, you know, young people now at the right time and the right stage, I think we're all ambitious. I think we're hardworking. I think we're determined. I see a lot of phenomenal young people doing exceptional things, even without any titles. And I think that's going to obviously encourage a lot of young people. I believe in the domino effect, where one young person watches another young person do an exceptional job, and then they learn from it and they obviously grow from it and they want to be the same or better. And I think that if we can encourage our whole society as follows the domino effect, I think that, you know, our country is going to be headed in the most exceptional direction.
Well, thank you so much, Zareef, for that answer, and thank you, Katu, for asking that question. That was leader number 1, Zareef Minty. Well, we've got 1 down and 5 more to go, but we only meet them after this break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to One Day Leader. Well, this year we decided that the contestants be given an opportunity to introduce themselves through their vision statement. And now also from the Northwest Province is leader number 2. Her name is Natasha Sesing.
I believe in a South Africa where endless possibilities are the new normal and daily mantra of South African citizens. A place that is a breeding ground for innovative solutions for every single cause. Now, for a very long time, South Africa has had education as the priority poverty reduction strategy. My vision entails having enterprise development that is innovative as a poverty reduction strategy. This will look at turning the ordinary South African from being a job seeker to being a job creator. My vision entails education interweaving with innovation, and that South Africa will come to address the growth of the economy as well as addressing socio-economic challenges within South Africa. I am a visionary leader, and I believe that the active participation of every single citizen is both important and beneficial. I am a leader that seeks to minister a message of hope.
Natasha, congratulations to you as well for making it thus far. Catherine, would you like to ask Natasha a question?
Absolutely, I'd love to. You speak so much about innovation and education. I would like to find out from you, what do you believe are the key ingredients to innovation?
I believe that innovation entails a lot of creativity, and it is also moving South Africa to a more global standard, and it involves not doing things the way that we traditionally do it, but moving into contemporary models, theories and finding innovative solutions for every single course.
Well, thank you so much, Natasha, our leader number 2, and thank you, Catherine, for that question. Well, next we go to leader number 3. His name is Tamu Poe, who comes all the way from the west of Gauteng.
Think stokvels. Stokvels are organized communities where people put their money together to achieve a specific end. People put money into a pot to ensure that their relatives have a dignified burial upon their death. People put money into a pot to ensure that they have groceries for 6 months. People put the same money into a pot to ensure that their kids go into university and graduate. Stokvels are the prime example of black people's capability of coming together and creating their own wealth ecosystem. Stokvels are prime examples of an economic ubuntu. But the problem right now with our community is the fact that we don't buy from each other. We don't consume from our very community, and that is why our enterprises fall. I want to start an intellectual movement called Black Money. This movement sought to inculcate a culture of black entrepreneurship and responsible black consumeration and consumerism, where we ensure that black people actually buy from black businessmen and we develop businesses. Bona, ke botebo ba tjhebelopele ya ka bakeng sa Afrika Borwa. South Africa is the means, Azania is the end.
Tami, welcome to One Day Leader. I know that I personally gave you a hard time before finding out that you were part of the top 6. Congratulations, you have made it. But Tebogo, would you like to ask Tami a question?
Yes, Tami, you spoke about how you would like to inculcate a culture of communal support in businesses. Now, I wanted to ask you, why do you think that is not happening, and how do you think we can change that?
So part of the reason why we don't have a culture of supporting black business is precisely because we have large multinational corporations in township communities, and people consume from there. So what you need is to inculcate a culture of an inward economy where you're actually buying from the inside of that community. And that's what we need to do right now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tami, leader number 3. Well, Mzansi, I now present to you leader number 4, who's all the way from the KZN. Her name is Nandile Mlambo.
Kiligiti, kiligiti, kiligiti. Kiligiti, kiligiti, kiligiti. Kazi wezintombi, nani wezinsizwa, hambani yotshela unyoko ukuthi khona mina intombi yakwaMlambo ezalo mangubane ozalo manqumalo angizile ukuzosineka angizile ukuzodlala ngithe angizile ukuzosineka angizile ukuzodlala. Mina ngiyibona njengomuntu owumakhi wesizwe. Nginogqozi lokwakha isizwe saseNingizimu Afrika. Nginogqozi lokuthi ngiqeqeshe intsha emkhakheni yabo eyahlukene. Yabo indaba engiphatha kabi kakhulu, indaba ye-youth unemployment la eSouth Africa. Ngonyaka ka-2013 ngazenzela olami ucwaningo, ngabhala i-thesis paper about youth unemployment in South Africa. Lelo phepha ngalijika ngalenza i-business plan. Bengilenza i-business plan ngalithumela to the BBI UK, the Basic Business Initiative. Bengifike eNgilandi ngawini award. Nansi njoba niyibona, i-award for young entrepreneur. South Africa, this is for you. Yabo mina ngisazosebenza la eNingizimu Afrika kakhulu. Ngenze sure ukuthi iyaphela indaba ye-youth unemployment. Ngifuna ukunisupporta kakhulu, nginiqeqeshe. Nginithanda kakhulu. Ngiyabonga.
Nandile, congratulations for making this far. You are in the top 6. But I mean, in your insert, we saw you getting down, dancing. Clearly, you're a cultured woman. But do you feel that young South Africans respect their culture?
I think maybe it depends where you come from. I've heard others saying, wow, I admire what you do and how you keep it, you know, it's still instilled in you and you cultivate it all the time, you know. So I think they actually do appreciate, maybe if you haven't been exposed to it, you can start now.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Nandile, and congratulations one more time. Well, South Africa, I'm sure you'll agree with me that we have some dynamic individuals in our midst this year. We're not going for a break, but when we return, we meet 2 more contestants and then get straight into our very first debate. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching One Day Leader, and my name is Tumelo Mototwane. Now, before the break, we met 4 contestants who made up the top 6 candidates, and we saw where they come from, and we also asked about their vision for South Africa. And now we meet leader number 5, who also comes from the Vaal, and his name is Sydney Madibo.
I envision a South Africa that values the underpaid, undermentioned, and undertaught South African just as much as it values those citizens who are able to afford their rates and taxes and even their e-toll payments. Now, I envision a South Africa that invests in all its people across the landscapes, irregardless of political affiliation, social class, or even title. A South Africa that is willing to invest in Pitseng Primary School to give us learners who are just as equipped as learners from the Hilton College. I envision a South Africa where we all have a vision for South Africa, where we all work collectively to move South Africa forward. Every man, woman, and child of every race, color, or creed. I imagine a South Africa where there is no such thing as a Kasi school or an X-Model C, but where there's equal opportunity for each and every single South African, regardless of their background. Now, I imagine a South Africa that is filled with an avalanche of opportunity. I imagine a South Africa of tomorrow, today.
Congratulations, Sydney. You make up our last gentleman as leader number 5 right here on One Day Leader. And Katu, would you like to ask Sydney a question?
Yes, Sydney, you spoke about a South Africa, alive with an avalanche of possibilities. But what was interesting for me was your choice of location to present your vision to us. Any particular reason why that location, and how is it linked to the vision that we have for this country?
I mean, post-1994 in South Africa, we've always had this vision of where we want to take it. And one of the key aspects that you also raised, being development, has always been at the forefront of such discussions. Now, the problem that we have, in my view, is that in order for us to be able to develop South Africans entirely, we also need to look at where they are located. Because with the previous government that we had, with the Bantustans, with the townships, and with the suburbs, it was very difficult to get all of these people on the same level of development. So with this vision that I have and this avalanche that you speak of, as a South Africa where we do not have that classification, where there is no classification of a suburb or a Bantustan or anything like that, but where we have a holistic approach to development where all individuals are developed equally.
Thank you so much, Sydney. Thank you so much, Katu, for that question. Now, of course, we're moving to our very last, but definitely not least leader, and her name is Ludwekazi Ndlazi. She's all the way from the Eastern Cape, and she's leader number 6.
Local problems, global solutions. A South Africa that is not limited by jurisdiction. A country where, upon idea generation and strategic planning, horizons are broadened. I see socio-economic challenges in all various spheres, re-evaluated, reconstructed, and rectified, with all potential maximized, taking into account the effects of the internal and external environment, and formulating, analyzing, and implementing innovative solutions. My South Africa, a change-oriented country with every single citizen willing and determined to pursue their purpose and perfect their portion through realizing that it only takes making things happen. In a land alive with possibilities, South Africa, we need to think global and act local. My name is Ludwekazi Ndlazi, and I believe in a progressive and innovative South Africa.
Welcome to the show, Ludwekazi. Congratulations for making it thus far. Catherine, this is your moment with her.
I'd like you address global challenges in your insert. I'd like to ask you, becoming a global village where technology has brought us so much closer, what are some of the global challenges that you feel we're facing currently?
In South Africa, we need to think out of the box. From poverty, education, down to the last problem in personal development. We need to make a habit of thinking out of the box in order to make things happen. I believe in that. It's not the position you stand, but the direction you look. We need to start looking at first world countries. What is it that they're doing that's making them relevant? We need to take it back to South Africa. What is it that we can do to make ourselves relevant and enough to be in competition with our first world countries? Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Ludwekazi. Thank you so much, Catherine, for that question. Well, there you have it, South Africa. Our top 6 contestants for One Day Leader Season 4. We'd like to hear your comments on our Facebook page. We are One Day Leader SA, and on Twitter at One Day Leader. Don't forget to hashtag One Day Leader. Now, we'd also like to remind you that our voting lines are now officially opened. All you need to do is SMS the number of your favorite leader from 1 to 6 to the number 33121. The lines, of course, as they are opened, they will close on Thursday at 9 a.m. So do make sure you have voted by then. But judges, I have to say that you have a very tough decision this season. It seems like we have incredible individuals. But Tebogo, what are your thoughts so far?
Well, I'm pretty much impressed. One thing that I like is how poised you are. You know, the way you structure your arguments and the way you deliver them is very mature. And I expected you to go very fast and try to have a lot of information in a small space of time, but you actually did a good job.
Alrighty then. Well, thank you so much, Tebogo, for that, and congratulations one more time to you, top 6. Well, I guess we're going to make your job a bit more difficult, judges. We'll start with our very first debate for the season. A very topical issue at hand is South Africa ready for a female president? Now, before we start with our first debate, here are the rules for the debate. Every leader has a set of instructions and disciplines to live by. These are the rules for the One Day Leader debates. You have 30 seconds to state your vision statement, 60 seconds for the opponent to challenge, and 30 seconds to conclude your debate. Now, those were the rules of our debate, and our very first debate is between leader number 5, Sydney Madibo, and leader number 1, Zareef Minty. We'll start this one with leader number 5. Of course, you have 30 seconds to present us with your vision statement, beginning now.
Leadership on that level, at a presidency level, should have nothing to do with your race, your gender, or your social class. But it should have everything to do with the level at which you are willing to serve the people that you are leading. And I believe firmly that this is a debate that we cannot narrow down to whether or not the president should be female. I mean, you can be white and homosexual and still be the president of the country. You can be colored and lesbian and still be the president of the country. So I believe firmly that leadership and presidency should have nothing to do
Leader
with
1,
race.
you may chop in. Your 60 seconds begin now.
Certainly, I think it's actually, unreasonable that you're not considering that 51.3% of the country's population is actually female, and the fact that you're saying that we shouldn't empower women in the sense that we've never had a female president.
No,
before.
I never said that we shouldn't empower women. I'm saying that we should not narrow down presidency to a specific gender.
No, that's true. But I mean, in the same way that we have BE for, previously disadvantaged when it comes to different races, in the same way, we have to also look at women who have been previously disadvantaged. We live in a society and a structure where we're looking at structural societies that, our women were always disadvantaged.
If I may ask a question, then how do we classify all these other previously disadvantaged groups to also fit into the leadership arena?
No, but we're speaking about presidency in this particular case, and in fact, women have been disadvantaged. They haven't been given the right expertise that they actually deserve to be in prominent roles and in managerial roles and in president roles. So I think that as much as, males have always been dominating society here, we need to start looking at a different outline.
Thank you so much, Leader. What do you may round off now,
succeed.
your vision statement?
I believe firmly that in terms of us speaking about people who've been previously disadvantaged, we need to look at one critical point. We need to look at whether or not that president will be able to advance higher education in South Africa. We need to look at the point of whether or not they'll be able to implement macroeconomic policies. We need to look at various facets. And I believe that the point that has been raised does not speak to the societal problems that we have and why we need a specific type of president. And I still remain firm
Thank you so much, Leader number 5.
fight.
Thank you so much for that debate. Well, Zareef, is South Africa ready for a female president? Your 30 seconds begins now.
Okay. South Africa is ready for a female president. In fact, it was long overdue. Our women in business and other sectors, especially in the legal sector, have been leading and succeeding for various roles and for various times and periods. I believe the issue was never whether they were competent, but more over the fact that they were never given the opportunity. We're living in a structural and societal system where they don't allow for female dominance. In fact, male dominance has been creating our whole society for a very long time.
Leader 5 coming to the debate.
I mean, yet again, when we talk about the issue of cooperative governance, when we talk about the issue of transformation in the South African context, when we talk about the opportunities that we should be giving to previously disadvantaged groups, it should be more about who is far more competent, who is far more able to advance these troubles, to advance these concerns that the vast majority of the people have. And again, it does not mean that if you have been previously oppressed, if you have been previously suppressed, then that is the merit that puts you at the forefront to lead a country. It should be about whether or not you have the will to serve. It should be about whether you can serve on merit, and it should be about whether or not the people that constitute that country want you to actually preside over the republic. I mean, let's ask ourselves one fundamental question. What happens when we have a president that's in power but cannot carry out macroeconomic policies? What happens when we have a president that's in power but
Thank you so much, Leader 5. Zareef, you did not engage at all. Your 30 seconds now to wrap up. Start now.
Okay, in closing, look, I mean, countries like Malawi, countries like Germany have female presidents. It's not the fact that I'm saying that we should only look at a female president. We need to allow them the opportunity. We need to give that space where it wasn't available before, and then we can move towards rectifying and having an equal society. I think that women need to start aligning themselves politically so that they can gain the support needed, because it's very male dominated. I think another thing is that we need to look at leadership qualities, but women have been disadvantaged, and we can't forget about that.
Thank you so much, leaders. A round of applause for Leader 1 and Leader 5's debate. Well, judges, with that said, this is your moment now to vote. I'll be giving you a few seconds to make your vote, and just, of course, to remind everyone that we are talking about whether or not South Africa is ready for a female president. Well, we've heard what Leader 1 had to say, Zareef Minty, and Leader 5, Sydney Madibo, of course, arguing both statements as whether or not the country is ready. Well, judges, I think you are ready. And for now, let's take a look at your results. All right, this one goes to Leader number 5, Sydney. You take the debate. Round of applause. Judges, why did you specifically think that Sydney took that debate?
I think that Sydney really owned the platform, and you really made the most of the time given on both sides. I would have liked to see Zareef engage more on the debate section, but I think these are things that we'll move forward with and need to work on.
All right, thank you so much. Catherine, congratulations, Sydney. You've won your very first debate. Well, a very close call, but don't forget to vote for your favorite candidate to 33121. Now, after the break, we have 2 more debates. Don't you move. We'll be right back. Welcome back to One Day Leader. Now, if you've just joined us, you've missed our very first debate, whereby Leader number 5, Sydney, has won that round of debate. Now, our topic is South Africa ready for a female president? Our next debate is between Leader number 6, Ludwekazi Ndlazi, and Leader number 3, Madibo. Ludwekazi, of course, you have 30 seconds to state your vision statement. You may start now.
If a president is defined as the head of a government in a country, where in the definition is gender? Was South Africa ready to appoint former presidents, former deputy presidents, Phumzile Mlambo-Ngcuka and Kgalema Motlanthe respectively? And upon that appointment, was it really scrutinized and predetermined that they should be appointed? Leadership has nothing to do with gender. Leadership and equality should not be used in exceptional situations. Progress in our country is restricted by uncertainty. South Africa is ready for a phenomenal president. And right now,
Leader 3, debate.
So the debate is really about the perception that South Africa has towards a female president. Now, I want you to talk to the perception perception of the viewers and the people at home? How is the perception changing in the reception of a female president in South Africa?
We need to move past the times where women had to prove themselves that they belonged in the kitchen. We need to realize that women are now heading up companies, so that means they have equal opportunity and equal capability
But is the
to prove that
perception there in society that women are actually ready to take up these roles?
Perception is proved by the women who are already taking up charge. So women will prove themselves, and so if women move forward and prove themselves that they're ready, then they should be appointed.
100%. And I want to know that within the ranks of government right now, do you think currently we actually have females who actually are capable of being president?
We have females who are proving a point that they are phenomenal and are being recognized for it. My take is that women need to work twice as hard and realize that although men are working, they need to prove themselves, that not because they need to be empowered, they need to realize that this is the reason why they stand a chance to be president.
Thank you so much, Leader 6. You may wrap up.
What guarantee did South Africa have that the presidents, Nelson Mandela, Thabo Mbeki, and the current president, Jacob Zuma, would be phenomenal presidents? What guarantee did South Africa have that Advocate Thuli Madonsela would make the exceptional public protector of the minute? Jill Marcus, best South African Reserve Bank governor. I say that South Africa needs a phenomenal woman, a phenomenal leader, a phenomenal president. And if they're women, they're female, then South Africa is ready for a female president.
Thank you so much, Leader 6. All right, leader number 3. Is South Africa ready for a female president? Your 30 seconds begin now.
Yes, South Africa is ready for a female president. All I need to do, I'm going to prove some political analysis to show you how South Africa is ready. So what I'll prove is that if the ANC is ready as the custodian of power and influence in society, that means that South Africa is ready. Currently in the ANC, you have presidents like Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, Lindiwe Sisulu, and Baleka Mbete who are actually being discussed within the ranks of the ANC. What does this do to the perception on society? The perception now is the most capable presidential successor is most likely to be a female leader.
We need to move past the times where leadership is individualized. I'm talking about proving yourself in the field. How does that perception
Thank you very much. So,
come to
like the
field?
leaders that I'm actually talking about, right, are people that actually have proven themselves in the field.
You
so Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma is in the AU, Lindiwe Sisulu is also in cabinet as well, and we have the most people that are deployed in cabinet in the world who are female. So this shows that we have more people that are actually very capable at the female level, at a presidency level, right?
Why should it be that they're given the platform, they don't have to take it themselves? Why aren't they president right now?
Good. Now you have to ask yourself, who actually gives out power and who deploys people into governance? And if within the ANC, they are ready to deploy females, like readily available, that means that they're already given the power and the discussion is already
We need to broaden our horizons. Each and every woman must know that it's their responsibility to come up and say, I am responsible. And
women are not saying that, right?
My point is,
Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma has already accepted the
language.
nomination for female presidency. So it doesn't mean that they're not ready to it, they're not ready to do so.
Thank you, Leader 6. Leader 3 may wrap up.
So perception is the principle here. If you can say that South Africa is ready to perceive and receive a female president, then we are definitely ready for it. The international tides are moving because in Germany, the people that run Europe, Angela Merkel, is female. America is preparing themselves for a female president right now. So the tides are turning and South Africa is coming to a point where they can perceive of a female president. We're ready.
All right. Thank you so much. Round of applause to Leader 3 and Leader 6. Judges, you are smiling, you are happy, but I need you to smile by voting. So this is the time where now you can, of course, cast your vote and tell us who took it. Of course, that is Tami Powe and Leader 6, Ludwekazi Ndlazi. Well, thank you so much to Leader 3 and Leader 6 for that debate, and thank you so much, judges. I understand that you have already voted, but let's take a look at the judges' vote. Alrighty then, there you have it. Leader number 6 has won that round. A round of applause. Well, it seems like the judges were ready for a female winner. I think it was about time. But ladies and gentlemen, we've come to our final debate, and that is between leader number 4, Nandile Mlambo, and leader number 2, Natasha Sesing. Of course, you are debating if South Africa is ready for a female president. We're going to open this one with leader number 4. Your 30 seconds begin now.
It is often a woman that gets asked, as a CEO, entrepreneur, global leader, author, mother and wife, how do you do all that you do? This is because as women, we are multitaskers. We have that 360-degree leadership edge about us while we tackle the bull by the horns. South Africa has been ready for a female president. We have produced phenomenal females in this country that are highly capable of leading. The 6 pillars of leadership: action, accountability, influence, vision, go-getter attitude and willingness.
Alrighty then. Leader 2, Do you agree? Debate in 60 seconds.
What I would just like to ask you is that you based your argument mainly around women empowerment, empowering women and saying that women are multitaskers. Are you saying that the president should be chosen just because you have seen that women are multitasking, they are go-getters and all of that?
When lions go and hunt for food, the lioness goes out and hunts and gets food for the whole pride.
And in leadership, is this theory applicable?
Yes,
in leadership,
because
does it mean that just because a lion does this and that, does it prove that a woman can lead?
Leadership has passed this woman's leadership has passed the test of time. Maria Ramos, for example, ranked as one of the most powerful women in Africa. Yes, they are.
Within the South African context.
As the world's 9th most influential businesswoman by Fortune magazine, currently CEO
How do we link
of
that up with
Barclays
SA presidential
She has
female
also managed
leadership?
big parastatals at CEO level, such as Transnet. She was the DG for the
Thank you
National
so much,
Treasury.
Leader 4. You may wrap up.
Okay, so I have Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, Batabile Dlamini, and Maria Ramos. I think these women have the capability. They strike a balance of social, political, and economic issues. Given the global landscape in politics, you teach a woman, you teach a nation.
Thank you so much, Leader 4. I don't know if you saw this, but Leader 3 Tammy was just like, women, what is going on? He was just like, are we ready for a female president? Alrighty then, I'm going to give you Leader number 2 a chance, of course, to present your vision statement in 30 seconds. Begin now.
In the words of Michelle Bachelet, for me, a better democracy is a democracy where women do not only have the right to vote and to elect, but to be elected. Now, let us put gender aside and affirmative action. SA is fortunate to have a number of highly educated, strong, and capable, experienced women within our political spheres. And so far, we've had 2 women occupying the office of deputy presidency. Within the South African context, yes, we are ready.
Leader 4, you may debate.
Leader, I agree with you there. We are ready for a female president. That's what this is about. Yes, regardless of gender, etc., but if you're gonna speak about us being ready, we are ready. As I say, we have the likes of Maria Ramos. Her leadership can take the country to the next level. She can take the country to the next level. Because she is the first woman to lead the African continent, for example.
And I fully agree. As I mentioned, we have highly educated, strong and capable women such as Nkosazana within the South African context. And I believe that we should base this debate within the South African context. Are we ready for a female president?
Yes, we are.
And I say yes, Leader.
Yes, we are. She was Minister of Health. I mean, she brought forward the Tobacco Products Control Bill in '99, which made smoking illegal in public. Then she became Minister of Foreign Affairs. Following that, Minister of Home Affairs. 2012.
And these are enough for presidential position.
For me, all these women are.
Thank you so much, leaders. Leader 2, you may wrap up your discussion.
The presidential position requires someone who is responsible to achieve results and change. And South Africa within the South African context have proven this. Now it is beneficial for South Africa to have a female in presidency as it comes to change societal misconceptions of women and leadership. It brands leadership in South Africa as well-rounded, and it stands to discourage sexism and looking at women empowerment only.
Thank you so much, leaders. A round of applause to Leader number 2 and Leader number 4. Heated. Females for female presidents. All right, judges, you have a few seconds, of course, to cast your vote. Who do you think takes this one? Is it Leader number 2, Natasha, or Leader number 4, Nandile? Alrighty then, I think you're done. Without any further ado, let's take a look at the judges' vote. Alrighty then, there you have it. Leader number 2 takes that debate. A round of applause. Judges, why did you specifically vote for Natasha?
Well, I felt as if Nandile and Natasha both had great points, well researched. Natasha was interjecting, discredited a lot of Nandile's arguments. She was very poised, and I think Nandile needs to perhaps gain a little bit more control over the manner in which she argues her points, and then she'll be able to, improve in the next debate.
Alrighty then. Well, thank you so much to you, judges. Thank you, leaders, one more time for your debate. Well, now you've heard it. Those were the enlightening debates that we've had right here on One Day Leader, our very first episode, if I have to say so myself. But after the break, we reveal the scoreboard for the very first time. And then we announce the episode winner. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back. You're watching One Day Leader, and we're about to announce the winner of this episode. We have 6 leaders who have very compelling visions. Before we announce the winner, we give now our audience members a chance to cast their vote. They have heard the debate, seen, of course, what the leaders have to offer, and they will now vote. But before they do that, I just want to make sure that our audience members understand exactly how it works. So, audience members, you'll have to choose between the top 3 that already have impressed our judges. That will be leader number 2, leader number 5, or leader number 6. You may now cast your vote. All right, now, as of course our audience members look into their casting ballots, we'll of course remind you that today's topic was, is South Africa ready for a female president? Now, you at home can also vote for your favorite leader by SMSing their number to 33121, and hopefully they'll make it to the top of our scoreboard. All right, it seems like our audience members have voted. Let's take a look at the scoreboard. Well, there you have it. It seems like leader 2, leader 5, and leader 6 each have a tie. So you will all 3 receive 1 point each. A round of applause. All righty then. With that said, we'll now take a look at our very final scoreboard for this episode. Let's take a look. And it's a tie. We have Sydney, Ludwekazi, and Natasha at 3 points each. Tami, Nandile, and Zareef must still work hard to get their points. Now, that was your scoreboard, South Africa. Congratulations to leader number 2, leader number 5, and leader number 6 for making it to the top 3 of the overall top 6 of the very first episode. Thank you so much for all your compelling arguments, and thank you so much, of course, to our judges for being with us right here on One Day Leader tonight. Now, next week, we discuss access to education. We're looking into whether or not free education can be quality education. But in the words of Vince Lombard, perfection is not affordable nor attainable. But if you chase perfection, we can catch excellence. Now, of course, we'll see you next week, and hopefully you will be chasing excellence. From myself, Dumelo Mututwani, and from the One Day Leader team, it's a good night.